In this video, I'd like to show you a feature that the squad developers added to their game in the beta version. And I think Escape from Tarkov should have it too. Now, first the demonstration. For this demonstration, pay attention to where my gun is pointing at and to the two dots at the bottom of the screen. Okay, now I'm going to, on purpose, lose all my stamina by jumping up and down. Then I'm going to turn the corner and shoot at the door frame about 100 meters away. I'm going to shoot as fast as I can while still trying to hit. Notice here I get a severely misaligned side picture. But I can still hit what I want to hit if I work my way through the side picture misalignment like this. But it takes me time. Okay, that's the first part of the system. Developers mentioned that instead of having a cone that expands, the game now shoots exactly at where the gun is pointing at. And that is indicated by the side picture itself. So let's say if the side picture is, the front side post will be up in this corner and the rear side post will be up here on the screen. You would obviously shoot in somewhere to the lower right direction. Okay, so it's a realistic organic system. We have a high amount of inaccuracy. However, you can, as a player, you can see why it's inaccurate and where it's shooting when it is inaccurate. Okay? And the two dots basically represent the misalignment. Notice as I'm aiming this side, notice there's a bump in the misalignment. Okay, and the next thing is if you're aiming like this and you're standing completely still, notice there's still some misalignment from the side. That's just me standing still. Of course, you can stabilize it by holding shift, like in Escape from Tarkov. However, it works different because it slowly builds up to full accuracy. So I'm holding shift now. So the dots slowly move together. Probably takes 3 or 4 seconds, and now you get full accuracy. Now let's automatically release it. Okay, now let's say you're getting shot at or you are out of stamina. Okay, jumping to simulate stamina. Now I can't simulate suppression right now because it's a single player server. Okay, aiming, now holding shift. Notice it takes much longer to actually get to an accurate side picture. And the shift key will automatically release itself because there's a timer to how much you can hold it. Notice here, then it's gone again. So if you're completely out of breath, you turn a corner and you try to stabilize your aim. You will never get a fully stabilized aim unless your stamina is already somewhat built up. And of course the stance affects it. So let's say if you're crouched, you get to a more accurate side picture faster. Then you already start with the more accurate side picture because there's less wobble as you get more contact with the ground. And if you're prone, obviously it goes much faster. You even have to press shift, but we can still press shift and get more accurate side picture. Now there are a few more really cool things I want to show you, but first I would like to say why Escape from Tarkov should have that. I think there's 2 reasons. The first one being that it should be a weapon simulator before everything else. So any metagame considerations about loot or raid length or how many boss characters spawn, that's irrelevant to me as a Tarkov player. Shooting the guns needs to feel as real as possible. And I think Squad created a great innovation on that. Now the second reason is a shooter that is completely prepared in a position and waiting and is not out of breath and most importantly is not being shot at should have an accuracy advantage like this over somebody who is sprinting around a lot, suddenly turns a corner, is not prepared, this, and tries to hit the same guy from a distance. Notice here. You might hit in the direction of the guy, however, you probably won't hit. Whereas the prepared shooter, I gotta reload. Whereas the prepared shooter can easily land 3 shots in the same distance. However, even with that system, the suppression system in Squad actually functions as it should. In Tarkov, there's no real suppression system, and I'll show you that in a clip after this one. Because in Escape from Tarkov, if you miss somebody by a few shots, it doesn't affect the person's accuracy. Even a severely wounded character has no real accuracy loss. Oh, in this game, let's say you have a prepared shooter over here that's aiming down the alleyway. And let's say you're playing with a friend, or you're playing alone, you want to cross this road. What you can do is lean out quickly, fire a few shots, and as you land nearby shots in the door frame, the enemy's side picture gets misaligned from the suppression, and you might be able to cross the street. It's still risky, but that's how suppression works in real life. You make the other side duck so they can't shoot back at you. And one further advantage the system has right now is that in Escape from Tarkov, nobody ever takes cover. Nobody ever. Some people might say that's not true, but observe when you play Escape from Tarkov. You have to drop on somebody from a distance. Shoot at him, but purposely miss the shot. What they will do, they will not take cover and peek out carefully. They will stand in the open, look around, and then side strafe, awaiting your next shot so they know where it's coming from. Then they're going to hold right mouse, click shift to get instant accuracy, and one click you back. So Tarkov is basically a point-and-click adventure. And that's because it doesn't have a suppression system, and near misses don't mean anything in this game. And in squad also, you cannot really side strafe. Notice here, you can side strafe, but it's extremely slow. Okay, now there are two further really cool things I want to show you. The first one is about magnified scopes. Okay, now same situation. I got a magnified ACOG. I'm just going to lose some stamina. And turn the corner and try to shoot. Again, severely misaligned side picture. But it's similar to what happened before. It's just multiplied in how it's misaligned by a factor of 4. Also, the game now has a picture-in-picture scope. I think that's something Tarkov had for a long time. Oh, I noticed something. As you're aiming down the sight, notice. There's a small amount of blur that's just perfectly timed so it doesn't irritate your eyes. Notice here? It takes you like a second to completely walk your way through the optical system and get a side picture, and if you hold shift, like this. And I think that's realistic because in real life, somebody with iron sights will get a faster side picture than somebody staring through an ACOG at a distance. And that type of realism should also be in Escape from Tarkov. So not everybody runs around with a 3 or 4 magnification scope all the time. It would actually give iron sights or red dot users an advantage over an ACOG scope. I think it's just beautiful at the time. Look, the way it just blurs in the right amount. This will show you how red dot works. Now I picked the Russian red dot, using stamina and point. Again, you got a severe sight misalignment. Or it simulates the advantage a red dot sight has over iron sights. Because a collimator sight, that's what they're usually called. The collimator is basically giving you a projected approximation of where your sight picture is without you having to align the sight picture. Okay, so I got faster acquisition of targets than with iron sights. So if you just focus on the dot appearing, notice here, even if you're severely misaligned, you still get the advantage of a better sight picture than with iron sight. See that? I think that's the first game that really produces that realistic red dot picture. Everything else is blurred and slightly, I would say, looks a bit like a ghost ring. However, the picture behind it of the green dot in this case is crisp. And it's just fun to use it like that. Just the feeling of looking through an optical system in a video game like this. It's just beautifully made. So now this is the Escape from Tarkov part of the video. Remember when I made the argument earlier that players don't really take cover and Escape from Tarkov when they're shot at. Okay, let's imagine you're walking around and suddenly somebody's shooting at you, let's say from over here. Now, no player in this game ever uses careful cover and just peeks out a tiny bit and peeks back to find the enemy. What every player does is when they get shot at and they do not know what's happening or where it's coming from, they do this. And if they find the target that they think was shooting at them, press shift, instant accuracy, bang, bang, 2 shots, exact same spot. And the reason is that in Escape from Tarkov, cover fire or near misses have no effect on the player. And even direct hits on the player have virtually no effect on the player because players treat their armor as an outer health pool, and once that is worn down, they treat the character health as an inner health pool. So for example, as long as you have, I think, 1 hit point in the thorax, and 1 in the head, you are fully combat capable. You move slower, but you can still do this, press shift, and hit exactly what you want. Okay, now imagine if it would be like in squad. Let's say there's a shooter over there. You would go outside, and you would want to actually find the shooter. Now the normal Tarkov player does this. He goes strafe, 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 and then gets a target. Now in squad, you'll be dead in 1 or 2 seconds if you try that. Or you would be so severely suppressed that your sight picture would be completely messed up. You wouldn't actually hit anything. You know, imagine if it would be like in squad. You have to aim, to peek. And if, say you want to cross over there, you would fire 1-2 shots. And if you're close enough with your shots to the enemy, his sight picture is possibly messed up enough so you buy yourself 3 to 5 seconds to cross the road, as it would be in real life probably. Also, here's the thing about side strafing. I think over a year ago, the developers added this inertia system, which supposedly was supposed to stop this side strafing. Notice it didn't stop it. See, the only thing they stop is if you press one direction and then you immediately press the other direction. Then there's a noticeable stop and inertia buildup. However, if you let go of one direction key and just wait a tiny fraction of a second longer before pressing the other one, then there's virtually no delay in your side strap. Okay, notice here. That's still fast enough to dodge most bullets coming from a distance. And again, near misses don't mean anything. And here's the worst part. A shooter with the Mosin, for example, if he misses a shot and he's completely prone or stationary to stabilize his fire, he's at a disadvantage towards the moving player. And that's, I think, the biggest sin of this game. It's always being marketed as a tactical shooter. However, currently it's not, simply because suppressive fire doesn't work. And a mobile shooter is an advantage over a stationary shooter who is in good cover. So for example, if you're just stationary and you peek out, you probably get headshotted by somebody side strafing left and right as he is trying to locate you. That shouldn't be the case. And if they would implement the squad system, then it would fix that. Because then a stationary shooter would actually, with his near misses, be able to mess up the other guy's sight picture so hard that he wouldn't be able to land an accurate shot on a target that only has its head peeking out. However, as it currently is in Tarkov, no matter how messed up your health is in the character, no matter how messed up your stamina is, let me show you. Let's just round a bit, lose some stamina. Okay, wobble, okay, we got some wobble, and we press shift, full accuracy. And it's also the case if you are exposed to enemy fire and you got hurt. I'm going to simulate that with some grenades. Okay, now my character has some serious wounds. He's bleeding and a broken arm. So I'm just going to fix the bleeding so I don't bleed out in the video. Here's a problem. Notice here, again, let's lose some stamina. Notice the arm is broken. And this tiny amount of wobble is all you get from a broken arm. It's virtually nothing. It's even without pressing shift. I can hit over there, notice that. And if I press shift, I get virtually full accuracy with some slight wobble.